GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
As we prepare and remain vigilant amid the coronavirus pandemic, the GUT Credit Union remains committed to serving you and your family in the safest way possible. We have increased the frequency of cleaning and sanitizing all branches and ATMs throughout the day. In an effort to maintain the protocols of social distancing, we encourage you to use the ATMs to conduct simple transactions. For your protection and convenience, our officers are available to conduct business via telephone if needed. As a member, if you are facing financial challenges as a result of the pandemic, please contact us to discuss the range of flexible options available to you. More information can be obtained by calling 440-1354, emailing gutcu@spicile.com, or visiting www.gutcu.com. Together, we can successfully navigate through this time. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Here with the GBN Television News for Tuesday, the 14th day of April 2020. In the headlines, Tobias Clement sworn in as official opposition. Grenada's Parliament to reconvene. Carriacou and Petit Martinique get shopping day. Coming up in the sports news, Anderson Peters relives his journey to World Championships dominance. And in the Round the Globe, U.S. accused of seizing medical supplies en route to the Caribbean. Stay with us. The details after this.
This is GBN, the nation's news leader. This segment is brought to you by Quartz Grenada Limited.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know...
Baptiste Tobias Clement on Tuesday received his instruments of appointment as the opposition leader for the state of Grenada. Cherry and Blackman Stephen has this report.
Sisters and brothers, when I ran for election in Carriacou and Petit Martinique for the first time in 1995, at a tender age, I did not fathom that one day it would become necessary for me to transition into being the leader of the opposition in Parliament.
Tobias Clement is the parliamentary representative for St. George North East. He served as Minister without portfolio under the new National Party government for 2 terms, 2013 and 2018, until he resigned from the New National Party 2019. During a ceremony on Tuesday morning, Clement was presented with his instruments of appointment from Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade. In a statement issued Tuesday evening, Clement said he's not naive about the demands of his new journey.
Like everyone else, and being part of a winning team, I saw myself as a member of government assisting my constituents with their daily lives. But life had other plans for me. I am called upon to challenge the government and to outline alternative ways of developing Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Taking up his position as opposition leader during the COVID-19 pandemic, Clement had some cutting words for Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell. His plan, he said, is to lay before the Parliament new and innovative ways of conducting the nation's business and moving Grenada forward.
Why now? Sisters and brothers, now is the time. Battling COVID-19 cannot remain in the hands of a dictator. We need a broad spectrum of ideas to plot our way forward through the coming weeks. After government lifts the current state of emergency, we will need strong debate on rejuvenating our economy, inclusive of all sectors, and the use of our scarce resources. We must hold this debate in Parliament and not in Cabinet.
As the opposition leader, Clement will now be appointed as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and is entitled to appoint 3 opposition senators and occupy the leader of the opposition office in the Parliament building. As the official leader of the opposition, Clement is expected to attend a virtual meeting of the Finance Committee to debate on government's revised appropriation bill to facilitate the proposed COVID-19 stimulus package, as presented by Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Keith Mitchell. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Well, the ruling administration has addressed to critics regarding the allocations for financial relief, as well as legality of the curfew and regulations that are currently in place. Parliament is now set to reconvene. The process began with the Finance Committee of Parliament, on Tuesday, to be followed by the official sitting of Parliament next Friday, a virtual meeting of the Finance Committee. Jared Joseph has the details.
The fiscal stimulus package will be rolled out within the next few weeks as government moves to give legal effect to the financial relief promised. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, while responding to critics, said that the relief for those in the tourism industry, among others, will begin to receive payments by the end of next week or the following week. Some parties had voiced concerns that the limited state of emergency in the first instance and then the full state of emergency should have been passed in Parliament. Dr. Mitchell disclosed that all procedures are being done above board and any payments which are outside of the budgetary allocations will be made through the contingency fund.
That could be done by the contingency fund which was established by Parliament. And contingency is what it means. In case you have emergencies, you can spend. It's the only reason we have to go to Parliament is because the amount we have to spend for the next 3 months, in addition to what the budget has, is more than what the contingency fund has in it right now.
The official emergency legislation will also be passed in Parliament, which will bring to an end the need for the Governor-General to make a declaration weekly.
There will be parliamentary approval for the Emergency Powers Legislation Act, which of course runs out in three months. So it will be a maximum of 3 months if we have to do it. God forbid, we hope we won't have to do it.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
All right, an update just in on Tuesday's meeting of the Finance Committee of the House of Representatives to discuss the economic stimulus package announced by the government in response to the impact of COVID-19. Prime Minister and Finance Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell presented the package to the committee, which comprises all members of the House of Representatives. Dr. Mitchell's presentation included the macroeconomic context in which the stimulus package will be rolled out and any issues relevant to the fiscal expenditure rules. The Prime Minister has confirmed that there was general consensus on his presentation with minor adjustments. Explaining the significance of Tuesday's meeting, Dr. Mitchell said while they have gone through this process as a step in appropriating the funds to be expended under the package in the Parliament, nothing prevented the government from utilizing the contingency fund as established under Section 22 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 and duly appropriated in the 2020 budget under the Ministry of Finance. Prime Minister Mitchell further highlighted that the funds projected to be spent under the stimulus package are more than what was appropriated under the contingency fund for the year 2020, hence the steps being taken towards obtaining parliamentary approval. The next step in the process will be for the package to be presented in Parliament, and the next sitting has been scheduled for Friday, the 17th of April. Now, extended shopping days have been announced as Grenada enters another week of mandatory curfew. We get the rest in this report.
Prime Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, during a press conference on Monday, announced an ease to the regulations at hand. He identified 3 shopping days during which time Grenadians can stock up on necessary supplies. According to the PM, this is to further ease the congestion experienced at supermarkets in recent days. Consideration is being given for the further easing of the curfew during the coming week.
The further easing of our lockdown measures will be highly contingent on your ability as citizens to comply with the regulations put in place to safeguard our public health. This week, we have allocated, therefore, 3 days for shopping: Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Superintendent Vanny Cohen, during a media brief on Tuesday, reinforced the Prime Minister's statement, adding that allowances are being made for Petite Martinique people to access supplies.
Today, Carriacou is having a shopping day. Today being Tuesday, the 14th of April, Carriacou is having a shopping day. Carriacou will again shop on Thursday the 16th, Friday the 17th, and Saturday the 18th. That's for Carriacou. Shopping days for Grenada will be Thursday the 16th, Friday the 17th, and Saturday the 18th. Instructive, though, is that going forward, with the exception of today, every day that is announced as a shopping day for Grenada will also be for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. On the shopping days for Carriacou and Petite Martinique, 2 boats will be provided to convey residents of Petite Martinique into Carriacou to ensure that they can do their shopping. And
for farmers and fisher folk, they are also being catered for on some days. Superintendent Cohen explained that operations will be conducted in parish.
Farmers and fishermen will be able to apply the trade on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, which is the same shopping day for everyone. Consideration is being given to establishing farm markets, and that is how the farmers are going to apply the trade for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Consideration is being given to farmers market by parishes. So you need to stay in your parish to be able to vend for this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Locations have already been identified. There are just some logistical issues that need to put in place, but it is already approved that vendors will be able to vend Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, and it will be done by farmers market in the different parishes.
This being the final week of the mandatory curfew, Prime Minister Mitchell reminded citizens that they must remain vigilant and not let their guards down, and encourage the continuation of social distancing and proper cough and sneeze hygiene. Prime Minister reported that there has been no community spread of the virus in Grenada. Christelina John, GBN News.
Special shopping days have been set aside to accommodate some essential workers. This was announced during a news briefing on Tuesday by Superintendent Vanny Cohen.
So starting this Wednesday, essential workers, and I want to clarify the term here, essential workers for this particular shopping day includes doctors, nurses, and police officers. So this Wednesday, doctors, nurses, and police officers will be allowed to shop at Calico Shopping Center, at Guave, Sates, and Grenville from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Additionally, on Sunday, the 19th of April, the same sector of the essential services workers, doctors, nurses, and police officers will also have the privilege and opportunity to shop at the Real Value IGA supermarket from the same 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Superintendent Cohen elaborated on the rationale behind the priority extended.
I want to make sure that when we leave this press briefing, there is understanding as to why the doctors, the nurses, and the police officers are given that specific day to shop. I explained earlier on, but I think I omitted to say this, which I think I want to say now. Amidst all of the essential workers, there are frontline essential workers, and the doctors and the nurses and the police officers are considered frontline essential workers, and that is the reason why that day was given to them.
This is News at 7. We're live here at the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Still to come from us, Ministry of Health to increase testing for COVID-19. And a St. George's family braves COVID-19 challenges to share with the less fortunate. We'll talk about that soon.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Rise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Rise, with no wings, fly. Rise, and we're so high, enjoy the view.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Remember to wash your hands to stop the coronavirus. Finish.
This message is brought to you by Mount Pure Mineral Water, silver medalist in the 2020 Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting Competition.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with tropical. Can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. Telephone number 440-8787, or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
They say sometimes less is more, but at Real Value IGA Supermarket, we believe more is more. And since we are all about more, we want to buy more from farmers like you so we can sell more to our customers. If you have a farmer's ID and fresh produce to sell, Real Value IGA wants to buy.
For more information, contact Real Value IGA on WhatsApp at 405-4405 or give them a call at 439-2121.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
We all want a home that matches our way of life. But it's not just about building or buying a dream home or purchasing land with the most breathtaking view. It's about finding the bank that would make you feel at home. A Home Easy Loan from Republic is your best choice. It's more than a mortgage, it's peace of mind.
Visit any of our 6 branches. Submit your application forms on our website or talk to us on Facebook. Experience peace of mind today. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Health officials will begin large-scale testing on Wednesday to determine if there is community spread of COVID-19. In an exclusive interview with Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin, he explained what can be expected and the people targeted.
From tomorrow, we are going to be testing persons with respiratory symptoms. And people who are exposed, all category of people. Once you present to a healthcare provider, the public with respiratory symptoms, you'll be offered a test to determine if you have the virus. And that's major. We met with all of our district medical officers and community health nurses yesterday for a long period of time, strategizing the way forward on it. And there are different ways we're going to capture these people.
While not wanting to put an exact number for testing, Dr. Martin told GBN that based on their contact tracing, they have been able to identify more than 100 people who may have had some form of contact with confirmed cases of COVID-19.
People who have respiratory symptoms and are able to reach the emergency room or they are able to visit their community health centers, they will be offered a test there. The second option is persons who have called into the COVID helpline and they are reporting respiratory symptoms, or if they call into the health facilities during the working hours of the day and also report to have respiratory symptoms, these persons, we are going to take their information and through our community outreach testings, our health providers in the district will go to those persons' homes or where they are and test them, because we don't want them to leave their home and come in an effort to avoid the physical distance or to be compliant with the physical distancing that we're speaking about.
Dr. Martin said there has been no further tests done since the last batch of tests conducted locally last week. He said no results are pending at this time. Grenada remains on record with 14 positive COVID-19 cases, one of which departed the island for the UK. Given to the needy during the COVID-19 pandemic is the goal behind the movement of one citizen with the help of her family and friends. Beverly Telesford takes a look at the initiative in this report.
On Saturday, April 11th, while citizens were out taking advantage of the shopping day prescribed by the government during lockdown, one resident of Spring St. George was out distributing food packages. Tamika Gilbert and her sister, Lynelle Gilbert Marshall, were on the go, providing assistance to the less fortunate in the form of food and household necessities. In an exclusive interview with the GBN, Tamika explained how the initiative came about.
So I'm always trying to help people as best I can, wherever I can. And this past week, because of a comment I saw on one of the live streams from the RGPF or something, I saw somebody basically asking for help, and I decided to reach out to them. And when I did, I was able to help a mother who had no food for her and her son. And since then, like, persons would have seen me reach out to her there. Some people offer to help, and then others ask me if I can. And because of that, I just kept trying to help. I reached out to my friends to donate, and they did. And yeah, because of that, we just continue helping families with as much funds that we have and as best as we can.
Gilbert says though they have only been able to provide assistance to families in the parish of St. George due to travel restrictions, requests have been coming in from other parishes and efforts have been made to help them.
So far, we've gotten requests from mostly St. George, but also from St. Mark and from St. David. Directly, we've been only able to provide aid to persons in St. George, but I did try with the case at St. Mark to direct them to another initiative that I saw on Facebook. I tried and asked the person if I could report that case to them, and we're trying our best to see how we can help the case in St. David. Because of the whole not being able to go across parish bounds, and because we didn't request a pass or anything like that, we're limited to staying in St. George for now.
So far, over 12 families have been assisted by Gilbert and her team. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Still ahead from us, Prime Minister Mitchell says Customs and Excise is one of the hardest hit government departments. We'll talk about that. Stay with us.
It's new, innovative and classy, and it cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis Mr. Killamap, and I endorse this message.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Ofio.com. Sale. All the outlets, hotspots.
hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carenage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound, lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
GBN Television News. This one to report Minister for Health Nicholas Steele, accompanied by COVID-19 National Response Coordinator Dr. George Mitchell, visited the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique on the weekend. According to the Health Minister, during their mission, they met with and held discussions with residents there. We get more in this report.
Today, Tuesday, April 14th, has been set aside as one of the shopping days for the people of the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, with their next shopping days being Thursday, Friday and Saturday of this week. Today, the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique remain COVID-free. During a visit to the islands over the weekend, Health Minister Nicholas Steele says PPEs and other medical supplies were brought up. Discussions with residents indicate that they are in good standing as it relates to accessing food.
Met with a group of our citizens in Petite Martinique to discuss all of their issues. They aren't having any challenges. They are doing their time just like the rest of us, making sacrifices just like the rest of us, have arranged their logistics with respect to getting food just like the rest of us, and actually gave me a personal message for the Prime Minister to assure him that all of these logistical arrangements of only the state of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique. They have made arrangements for their boats to come to Grenada to get the stocks that they need and are quite happy with that arrangement. In fact, looking forward to their small and precious Petite Martinique remaining COVID-free.
During the past week, Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Ralph Gonzalez, made an open invitation to the people of the Sister Isles to access food from St. Vincent if needs be.
To the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, that if you're having difficulties getting food, we can help. So we have a lot of it in Union Island, and we could get to Union Island. I want to tell our brothers and sisters that. And if you want to get cooking gas, we can help you.
Prime Minister Mitchell, in responding to questions from members of the media, reiterated the closure of our borders to everyone and therefore urged citizens to remain compliant to the regulations.
The people of Petite Martinique have indicated, and the Minister of Health confirmed a short while ago, that they are fully behind the decision of the government of Grenada, not any other leader, and that they are adhering to a fundamental rule of the closing of borders, and they are not accepting the offer of anyone to break the fundamental laws of this land. So that's the situation. It's unfortunate, as you said, that a statement will come from anyone at this stage to attempt to encourage citizens of another country. I will never attempt to encourage the citizens of any country to break the laws of their country.
The health minister says residents are adhering to the regulations put in place by government to remain at home to curb the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Christelina John, GBN News.
The collection of taxes by the Customs and Excise Division as well as Immigration Department has been one of the hardest hit areas of government's operations. That is according to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, who was responding to a question on the request for concessions.
We have made decision for a lot of concessions already. The taxpayers' coppers would be almost limited. I looked at the revenue of customs and inland revenue recently. Normally around this time coming to the 20th, we each of them is running over close to $20 million in revenue. So far, customs is about, I think it's about 5 million or 6 million, something like this, and inland is about less than that.
Prime Minister Mitchell says these subpar levels come at a time when it is not business as usual for several citizens and companies.
Oh, you could imagine the tremendous hit that the coppers are taking, and remember, we have to make compensation. We promised to various workers around the country who are being lost their jobs or sent home because of the crisis. So the burden on the government is enormous, and the revenue available is limited. So it'd be difficult to say talking other additional concessions.
All right, time for this evening's GBN Eye Saw. Compliments Clear Vision Eye Center.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eye Saw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. Changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tonight's Eye Saw features photo and video footage of a homemade drum set designed from objects found around the home. Some of the items used to create the set were an empty barrel, standing fan, buckets, pot covers, a tennis ball, among others. You can continue to send in your photo and video submissions via our social media platforms.
You're watching News at 7. Still to come from us, the weather, followed by the sports news. Stay close.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems.
is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Esplanade Mall St. George's, Maurice Bishop International Airport, and Sandals Grenada Resort. Telephone number 230-1023.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
All right, weather for Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight, mostly fair at first, becoming partly cloudy after midnight with a medium chance of a few brief isolated showers. Tonight's minimum temperature 24.5 degrees Celsius. Wind northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate, waves up to 5 feet in open water. Tides high at 9:45 p.m., low at 3 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:56. The weather on Wednesday, the 15th day of April, partly cloudy with a low chance of some light daytime showers and a medium chance of nighttime showers. On Thursday, the 16th, partly cloudy in the daytime with isolated showers, increasing in cloudiness overnight. And on Friday, the 17th, partly cloudy to cloudy with light to moderate showers. Stay tuned now for the sports news. Hello sporting fans, good evening. 2020 was the year world javelin champion Grenada's Anderson Peters officially began his journey as a javelin thrower after looking at the likes of Kishon Walcott of Trinidad and Tobago. 7 years later, with a World Championships gold medal, he reminisces on traveling with coach Paul Phillip to qualify for the 2016 Olympic Games and making his debut at the 2017 World Championships.
This year I've learned that anything is possible. Literally, like in track and field, it's always an open competition. Like the guy who come in with like the slowest time in a sprint could be the champion. The shortest distance could become the champion. Like, it's open to everybody on the competition day.
The gold medalist in his appearance on World Athletics Unscripted says it was a complete turnaround from placing 20th in 2017 to winning javelin gold in 2019.
But being able to like become a world champion means a lot to my country, especially to young athletes. I believe that it would open their eyes to see that you don't have to be a sprinter. Like sprints or jumps is not the only event in track and field. Like you could become a world champion or Olympic champion in a different event rather than sprints or the jumps. So it just opens their eye to see the possibilities.
Grenada's Anderson Peters. Now, for West Indies cricket to get back to being a dominant force, Chairman of Selectors and former West Indies bowler Roger Harper believes changes need to be made from the ground up. According to Harper, all the blame for West Indies' performance woes cannot be put at the feet of Cricket West Indies, and that individual territories need to take responsibility for the cricketers they produce. The former off-spinner, who ended his career with 100 one-day international wickets from 105 games and 46 test wickets from 25 matches, believes that when the Caribbean was in its heyday, the territories were stronger on their own. In terms of creating more world-class players, Harper believes the players in the region need to be more ambitious as well. Steve Gardner, the 2019 400 meters world champion, said he was motivated to do his best in Doha for the sake of the people in his home country, the Bahamas, who were devastated by Hurricane Dorian. And now that he has won gold, he wants more. Packing winds of more than 185 miles per hour, Dorian slammed into the Bahamas on the 24th of August 2019 and remained over the islands until September 10th, just about 2 weeks before the start of the World Championships in Doha. Speaking on the World Athletics podcast, the lanky Bahamian, who lives and trains in Florida, said it was a difficult period. With his worries eased, Gardner said he received messages from friends and family back home that served to motivate him as he set about the task of becoming world champion. That is the sports news for now. Stay with us. Time for Around the Globe. Both ministers for health in the Cayman Islands and the Bahamas have confirmed that critically needed medical supplies bound for their fight against the coronavirus were seized by the U.S. government. Here's what we can tell you. They say the blocking of the supplies appears to follow an order by U.S. President Donald Trump that effectively prohibits the export of items considered essential for its own mobilization efforts against the disease. The revelation comes on the heels of a similar disclosure from Barbados' Minister for Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, who told a virtual press conference on Sunday, April 5th, that some 20 ventilators donated to Barbados were seized. Well, scientists in Brazil have stopped part of a study of a malaria drug touted as a possible coronavirus treatment after heart rhythm problems developed in 1/4 of people, given the higher of 2 doses being tested. Chloroquine and a newer similar drug called hydroxychloroquine have been pushed by President Donald Trump after some very small early tests suggested the drugs might curb the virus from entering cells. But the drugs have been long known to have potentially serious side effects, including altering the heartbeat in a way that could lead to sudden death. In French Martinique, government plans to reopen schools on the 11th of May. However, the teachers' unions on Martinique are very concerned about this intention in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has infected 157 people and killed at least 8 on the island as of the 13th of April. According to a report, representatives of 4 teachers' unions are demanding measures to protect the health and safety of students, teachers, and their families. The teachers expect a thorough cleaning of classrooms and systemic cleaning of students and teachers, screening of students and teachers. They noted that the education authorities have only 4 weeks to prepare for this deconfinement. Countries that refuse to accept the deportation of their citizens from the United States, even during the global COVID-19 crisis, are to face visa sanctions. The order was given on Friday, the 10th of April, by U.S. President Donald Trump in a memorandum to the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security. And the directive is to remain in place until the 31st of December. All right, that's the Around the Globe segment for now. We'll be back to remind you of the headlines. A reminder of the headlines: Tobias Clements sworn in as official opposition. Grenada's parliament to reconvene. Carriacou and Petite Martinique get shopping day. In the sports news, Anderson Peters relives his journey to World Championships dominance. And in Around the Globe, U.S. accused of seizing medical supplies en route to the Caribbean. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. That's all from us in the GBN newsroom. Thank you to all of you for tuning in to the broadcast. We'll see you next time.